What's up, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome back to HCS Pro Talk, your weekly Halo esports podcast. This is episode 380 for the week of March 3rd, 2020. Fat! That's how this week's episode is. The 2020 Fat HCS season has begun. My name is Josh, aka JK Fire, and this week I'm joined by the man in the purple lair, Will, aka I am Mr. Bam. Will, how are you doing on this Monday evening?
Oh, I'm doing all right, man. We are remote today. I have come down with some sort of cold or whatever, didn't want to spread it. So, yeah, doing what I can. We're here. Yeah, I'm great. How are you?
Are you saying that you got down with the sickness?
Sure, man.
Oh, right. Well, thanks, Sid. Oh, ah!
Yeah.
All right. I'm doing all right. I'm pretty tired, but other than that, hanging in there. Just caught up with a lot of things today, because it was a busy weekend. But yeah, we got a lot of shit to talk about today. So, Will, do you want to know what's on this week's episode of the show?
What do we got?
Halo Infinite is getting S&D. Will, this is something that you fucking however many years ago it was, like what, 2, maybe 3 years ago. The question was brought to you, like, what would you like to see? What do you think could spice things up? And you're like, and I believe you were talking about like a round-based, mode like an S&D in Halo, and see if that could work out. So
yeah, and we have something of the sorts coming. I'm really curious how it's going to play in Halo. We'll go through all the details in a little bit. There's some things I'm worried about, but we'll get there. We'll see.
Hell yeah. John, I know you say no audio, but chat, can you guys tell John to get the fuck out of here so he can go enjoy his life in Disney? This motherfucker chimes in from fucking Disney.
Yeah.
Like, dude, go enjoy your trip and like get the fuck out of here. God damn. All right. Unbelievable. What's Josh saying? He's muted. Shut up, tools. So, Halo Infinite is getting S&D, right, Will? We will talk about that just in a minute here. We're going to recap the state of the HCS LVT interview with Tashi, as a matter of fact. So if you missed that and you want a little recap of that, you can tune in here. But obviously, go watch the entire 2-hour interview, as a matter of fact. It was great. A lot of insightful information that we'll talk about in a little bit. And then the 2025 HCS season has officially started, which means we have tournament results to recap. So without further ado, Will, let's get into some competitive news. That's right. I have to fucking man the buttons right now, so this is going to be, This might be a little rough for your boy, but it's going to be fun. It's going to be fun.
You got this.
Thank you. I thank you for believing in me, Will. As you get to bask in your purple lair, like I'm just goddamn. All right. New mode sneak peek S&D extraction. This is by Halo Studios. There was a video overview that was put out by the team that Clutch narrated. So go ahead and check that video out if you haven't already. There are a lot of things happening here. So let's get to it. The basics. As the name suggests, this is an S&D mode, and this is the first time a mode like this has made its way into Halo. This mode is built on extraction, so be prepared to seek and deploy. Here is how it works. Single life, round-based, best of 11 rounds. First to 6 wins the match. One team starts on offense, the other starts on defense, and they alternate after each round. Maps are asymmetrical with 2 extraction sites. Offense must determine which site to attack and initiate an extraction on the site. Once the extraction begins, the defending team must convert. Economic surplus. While S&D extraction has Bandit Evo starts, it also features an expansive economy system. Players are rewarded with credits for initiating extractions, converting extractions, as well as getting kills. There are also neutral devices on the map where players can secure extra credits, assuming they'll be able to safely do so. Before each round begins, players can spend their credits on things like weapons, grenades, equipment, and even power equipment like active camo. The cost of items is based on their overall effectiveness and power potential in the round, with more powerful items, of course, being more expensive. Overall, you should see cheaper items in the first few rounds, more expensive items in the middle of the match, and toward the end, if players save up, you might even see some more expensive items. Everything you've purchased goes away at the end of each round, so you want to make sure you purchase only what you'll need, because you'll be buying again in the next round. Buyback. For S&D Extraction, we felt it was important to maintain the same base gameplay that Halo Infinite fans know and love. The same Spartan movement abilities, the same weapon lethality, and of course, the same shields as well. This is quite different from other games where the time to kill is a lot faster, and even a single headshot from a rifle could take you out. Because of this, what we found is that in one life modes, typically one team will get the numbers advantage, and then from there it's very easy for them to just steamroll the rest of the round. It's disproportionately difficult for the team, let's say in a 3v4 situation, to come back and win the round. What's up, Tom? Welcome back. This is a main reason why the mode is built on Extraction versus Assault, because you don't need to carry a bomb and thus put your team at a big disadvantage. But it's also why we're introducing the buyback mechanic. If you've just died in a round and you've got enough credits, you'll be given the opportunity to buy back into the round. If you buy back, you'll spawn at your team's initial spawn and with just your base loadout. Bandit Evo, no grenades, no equipment. The introduction of this mechanic not only helps balance out matches due to Halo's base mechanics, but also introduces another layer of depth. Jesus. Do you save for buyback? If you use the buyback, will you have enough to buy more gear in later rounds? Is it too late to buy back, or can you help your team win the round? While we're still fine-tuning the economy, the intention is to make the buyback expensive, so that it not only requires saving for, but is also treated as a big trade-off decision. We feel there needs to be an appropriate level of risk and reward for this mechanic. There may even be matches you play where there are no buybacks used. And I believe Tashi goes into further detail in that LVT interview where he talks about how it'll be very expensive to do. Or if not, or it was in the Clutch video that released. Either way. Another very, very cool thing here. Forging a new partnership. We're also excited to announce our partnership with Forge Hub for the S&D Extraction Forge Hub map contest. Halo Studios contributed $10,000, and Forge Hub have graciously decided to match that, bringing the total contest prize pool to a whopping $20,000. The contest starts today. Well, it started last week. And we've worked with Forge Hub on the rules, guidelines, and judging. To see all the information, go to forgehub.com/events. The link to the event page is in the Google Doc in the show notes of the show. Go ahead and check it out there. Additionally, we've been building S&D Extraction with members of the Forge community already. And we're excited to confirm that we've hired Artifice and Mick Rips to build the mode and map respectively. It's been great working with these skillful forgers, and we can't wait to see the final experience come together for you all to play. So yes, they have officially hired them to create the map and the mode. That is amazing. So what's next? S&D Extraction will be coming to Halo Infinite. Now here's the kicker. Okay? Here's the kicker. Because if I'm not mistaken, because I wrote the show notes today, Will.
Yeah.
Okay? So I had to navigate to this article today. And in the article, it still, to my knowledge, states the following. S&D Extraction will be coming to Halo Infinite and HCS later this year. We're still in the early days, but we wanted to get the word out as soon as possible to allow forgers as much time as possible to submit maps to Forge Hub. So now you may be asking yourself, the article that released on Friday, that still, as of today, which is Monday, states that it's coming to Halo Infinite and the HCS later this year. But if you recall, during the LVT interview that happened with Tashi on that Friday, Tashi went against what the Waypoint article says and stated that there has not been a definitive decision made as to whether it'll be added to the HCS. And the mode was not created with the HCS in mind. Okay? He also, we have the clip in the show notes, so you can feel free to check it out. But he also goes on to state that he said, if I'm speaking out loud, hypothetically, if it was to be introduced within the HCS, it would probably replace a Game 5 Slayer. So take that with what you will. So, Will.
Yeah.
Before I get your thoughts on S&D Extraction, the last thing here, the next time you will see S&D Extraction will be at the FaZe Kason Invitational on March 29th, where we'll be hosting a special match to show the first ever pro gameplay on S&D Extraction. Okay? So we'll be able to see for the very first time with professional players playing the mode at that event. Will, like I said, this has been something that you must have spoken into existence. So I want your initial thoughts. We haven't seen it. We haven't played it. We don't know much at all, how the flow is going to be. But I want your initial thoughts, Will. S&D Extraction, what do you got?
Yeah, at the beginning of Infinite, I was curious of how a round-based mode would work for ranked or HCS. We're basically bringing Valorant or CSGO into Halo. Man, I could see it going a bunch of different ways here, Yeah. I'm really going to wait for that Kason event and see how the pros play it, get their hands on it, to see if it might possibly be viable for HCS. But I like the switch up. I like that there's something different coming, maybe spark some interest. I'm not going to push it aside. I'm going to wait, see what it's like, play it myself, get my experience on it. I'm curious how the credit system's going to work out, if they're going to be able to make changes, because I know games like Valorant has had to go in and change their credit system based on how powerful weapons are. So glad they're still working on something. We'll have to wait and see, right? Is it good? Is it not? That's where I'm at.
We will absolutely have to wait and see. And Verb, he's here. Verb, he is here. He's here. Also, I want to give a shout out here quickly to Damage Titan, Jay Frericks. I'm sorry if I mispronounced that. Maverick, thank you all very much for the follows. Welcome to the live show. Greatly appreciated. Fluffy with the 2-month resub, you get a woo! And Beth with the 58-month resub, you get a woo! Thank you so much for the resubs. God damn. Occam says, I remade Dust 2 to test how that mode works in Infinite since there's no maps for it yet. What are your thoughts so far, Occam? What are your thoughts so far? While I wait for that response, Will, I did bring up the clip that I took from the interview regarding the contradiction between the article and then what Tashi actually says. Yeah. So real quick, I'm just going to play the audio. So this is that clip. Again, the article, the Waypoint article still to this day right now states that it'll be coming to Infinite and HCS later this year, while Tashi within the LVT interview contradicted that and stated the following.
Right now, we haven't made a final decision.
Maybe stated the following. Might help if I press the right buttons. My apologies. And stated the following.
Right now, we haven't made a final decision. We are considering it. I'll say the mode wasn't built with the idea of going into HCS. We weren't like, okay, we need a new HCS mode. It was purely from hey, what would be like a fun competitive mode to bring to Halo that hasn't been there before? Obviously we're building it to have a really high competitive bar, and we want it to be really well balanced and meet a lot of those same standards that apply for HCS. But we didn't build it with that intention. But that said, we think there's high potential for this mode, just for fans to love it and for players to love it. So we are considering it. I think right now, just to think out loud and share super transparently, the only way it would go in is if it replaced with Game 5 Slayer.
So there you go. That was the clip. Beast, part of me could see that, but at the same time, what a weird call out to say, like within that article as a blanket statement to say and HCS if it was just for the K-San event, if it was just for that singular show match, or as we're going to talk about with from the interview, how the plan is to probably have it like playable at majors. Even then, like, I don't think you go out of your way to say that it's coming to the main game and our competitive fucking aspect of the game within that article, unless you're meaning the whole thing. You know what I mean? But that's just me thinking out loud. Occam says, don't really have an opinion as it's so new. I'm interested to see how Halo's long time to kill will play into the meta of that mode. Occam, I appreciate you not jumping to fucking conclusions. You know? I appreciate that.
Yeah.
Also, Frag Out, thank you for the brand new sub. You get a woo! Greatly appreciated. And Halt with the 18-month resub. Wait, is that 16 or 18? I can't fucking read. Hold on. Halt with the 16-month resub. You get a woo! Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Fuck Ludwin? Yeah. Yeah. She's a bitch. People who played Avowed will know what we're talking about there. Just give me midship. Fuck the S&D and Halo. Verb, we'll talk about midship later as well. Don't you worry. All right. Yeah, Will, I'm kind of with you. I'm excited to see this happen. Clearly, regardless of the contradiction between the article and what he actually said, I like the idea of a new experience being added to the game. And we know for a fact that regardless of how long it takes, like, once it's added to the game, and I don't mean to sound like an asshole, but like, if it comes to the game and it's legit shit, they won't, I mean, they're not going to not remove it. You know what I mean?
Sure. Like we saw the removal of extraction in the first place.
100%. 100%. So yes, it might take a little while, but they're not. Basically what I'm getting at is that they're not too far up their own ass to realize when a mistake is made and fix the mistake, or at least attempt to fix the mistake.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm excited. And then I know that there were, so Will, I want your thoughts on this as well. There were some concerns that I saw on Twitter, like from pros, AMs, just the community members in general. Some concerns about the length of the game, right? Like, scrims are going to take this much longer now if it was in the HCS. I can't wait to sit there for a 30-minute game 5 or whatever it is. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So my personal thought is, obviously, the game could take a little while, but I'm very curious. Again, this is just pure speculation. I'm very curious if it plays more, if the length of the game is more like an oddball, like a third round oddball game, right? Or a King of the Hill that goes to overtime, or a CTF that goes to overtime, because those fucking happen all the time too. Like these longer types of games that we have as is, I'm curious if it's going to be around that same realm. I don't see this being an astronomically longer game type being played.
I think that depends on the play style. With One Life at the pro level, are we going to see a lot of ratting? It's going to be a lot of peeking for information. One person goes down and then the quick collapse comes in, right?
Right.
It might be a lot of that, but I will just defer to how intense S&D is in Call of Duty. How you can go round 11, but you're locked because it is so captivating. With One Life, everything matters. I'm not concerned about the time. If it gets to be too long, like a 35 minute game, maybe, because now you're saying, okay, we get to game 5. This is taking just as long as 2 other games did in this series. But it could be something that brings that intensity.
Absolutely. So I'm very curious how this is going to play out. Clearly, it's going to be a while till this is ready to go. So we'll just have to wait and see there. Beth says, for me, it's less about how long the mode itself may take, but more so, like you said, CTF, Oddball, and Bomb all seem to consistently take forever. So having another game with the potential to go that long could be worrisome. I understand that sentiment, Beth.
Yeah.
For sure. All right. We'll see how the game mode works. I think the thing that I'm most excited for, Will, is seeing the pros actually play it. And the fact it's going to be on LAN as well. Now, granted, like this isn't going to be the determining factor, right? Like of like the show match at the Kason event is not going to be the determining factor as to whether or not it could ever be added to to HCS, because this is the first time, like I assume this is going to be the first time these players are playing it, and they're going to be feeling everything out. Maybe they just won't give a shit, and they'll just start trying to do some crazy stuff. I don't know, but we'll see. Tyler says, need to know how long each round is, honestly. Agreed.
That's true. There could only be like 2 minutes on the clock to get that bomb down or the extraction point down.
How long obviously there's pre-plant and post-plant in COD, but like, do we know what the timer is on a pre-plant for a COD round of S&D?
Not off the top of my head.
Okay. Chat, if you guys know, please let us know. Beth says, think 2.5 minutes. And that's pre-plant? Because I know you get additional time after the team plants the bomb. Legend says, I feel like bomb should be played on a different map than Fortress, and I swear during the open a bug happened live. Could be wrong. Legend, I don't think you're wrong. I heard that the OT bug happened again. I heard. I did not witness it happening live, but I heard that the OT bomb bug happened again, this time during the open. Ronan says, bomb is a 40-minute slayer, but the points don't matter. You're not wrong. Occam says, a little bit of a Forger perspective. Forgers are finding it frustrating having a contest to build a map for a mode that is foreign to Halo, and the mode isn't even released, so we can't test how the meta works on the maps. Ooh. Oh. That's unfortunate. Occam, let me ask you, do you guys have like a shell of a mode that is being used? I thought I saw something around that on Twitter today or yesterday. Clutch said in Snakebites chat that they were on the wrong version for the tournament, not the updated fixed version. Thank you, Beth, for that context. I appreciate it. Thank you very much. Yeah, Tools, I did remember seeing that, but that was more so based on the maps themselves. Like, I think Tashi was talking about, don't be worried about the state that the map is in. Like, it doesn't need to be perfect. Maskey says, I don't hate the idea of S&D in Halo. I just don't understand how the economy aspect of it will function, especially with such a short round count. Mace, we'll have to find out, right? Nightquill says 100-second pre-plant and 40 post in Valorant. Huh. Yes, they release a prototype mode, but it's really only there for making sure your extraction sites and initial team spawns are working correctly. You can't derive how the map actually plays with the economy and buy system that's a big part of the mode is built around. That, yes. Well, either way, I think like obviously it sucks that the mode isn't fully there to be tested upon, because that could really just lead to more confusion as these maps are being made and these maps are being judged. And I know that Tashi said that like things will be iterated on after the fact and whatnot, and that's great. It's just I'm very curious how much time this is actually going to take. That's what I'm curious about. I would just say everyone has the same disadvantage. If something needs to change, you'll have time, but I doubt the judging will be influenced by it. Yeah, Tools, I would assume so as well, especially based off what he said to you. Also, Mace, thank you for the follow, by the way. Welcome to the live show. Just your average Halo guy says, my take, I watch and play Halo for Halo. If I wanted to see this extraction S&D, I'll stick with CS. I understand that take, but at the same time, try to keep an open mind on it. Just try to keep an open mind on it. Like, we don't know how it'll work out in the game. And like I said, like, just like with Extraction earlier, right? If it's shit, like if it releases and it does not work in the game and they've tried and tried and tried again, it just doesn't fucking work and it's not fun to play, they'll take it out. Like, and then you can do your whole I told you so moment if you want to, or you can realize that, like, hey, they fucking understand that shit happens and they're trying something new. There's nothing wrong with trying something new. Yes, Haley, yes, we are. The biggest problem is we don't have a good starting weapon for an S&D type game mode. It needs to be bad enough that you want to buy something else, but good enough to get a kill with. I don't know. I think the Bevo is fine because I fucking hate it and I want to get the BR, but I'll use it. You know what I mean?
I mean, they could go back to the standard bandit for the start.
Ooh. God damn. Because I hate the bandit. So that might, God.
I mean,
damn.
it's a viable gun, has a little less range than the Evo.
A little more recoil.
A little more recoil.
Yeah. God damn. Mailman says, we'll see, but I have my reservations. This has happened with other game modes before. My fear was that they were going to put it in without any testing. I don't think they would. Okay. Maybe I'm giving them too much credit here. Maybe I'm putting on a little bit too long of a leash, but I don't think they'd do that. I really don't. I don't think they'd do that. But again, now people are going to think, oh, they're fucking shilling. Not to keep throwing counterpoints, but this contest time frame is also way too short to create a map experience. 343 has told us 6 months is an average for a Halo style map, and this is 2 months for a map designed for into Halo. I also understand that point. Occam, just know that, like, regardless of the frustrations, we're happy that you guys are trying to do something. That you're trying to work within the constraints that you have, because like a $20,000 prize pool, which obviously the first place is not taking home 20 grand, but just a 20 grand prize pool in and of itself for something like this is pretty fucking cool. And you know that. So yeah, obviously I wish it was under better circumstances, but I think it's cool that it's happening. Janko boys, you think SSG will get it together? Yeah. I have no worry. Like, that's the thing, Janko. Oh, shit. That's why you don't go on Reddit during an online tourney day. I'll tell you that much right now.
Yeah, they should be able to pull it together.
Yes. Emphasis on should, though, Will. Emphasis on should.
Yeah.
Yeah. Game says, people not ready for my triggers down top 4 prediction for the first land. I fucking love that optimism. Let's go. Those are the fucking types of takes that we need. It's fucking it's Riz coming in here with a nemesis taking like fucking first place. Those are the type of takes that we need for the show. Not this whole, like, it's so easy. We'll talk about tournament results later, but it's so easy to say, like, well, when we did our preseason predictions, right? Our too early to tell preseason predictions, we put some thought into it, so on and so forth, you know. But it's also, I was thinking about this just today too. Like, it's so easy just to say, oh, Optical run house, like Optical win everything, because they're built to do it. Like, I mean, Formal literally got the roster that he wanted with the intention to win everything. It is super easy just to sit here and say, oh yeah, oh, who do you have winning the first LAN? Oh, Optical win. Oh, who do you have winning Dallas? Optical win. Like, oh, who do you have winning SLC? Optical win. It's so easy to say that because they're literally built for that. So we just want to spice things up, you know? But anything can happen. Like, these top teams are so... And this is all online right now, but like, based off the players themselves and what their accomplishments have been in the past, these top teams are going to be so fucking great that you just have to wait, man. Just wait till the first LAN. These teams are just going to be incredible. Fucking incredible. Back to S&D here. Legend says, I've seen people say that they don't want HCS to add new game types to Halo because it isn't quote unquote Halo, or because they don't want Halo to change. But I also feel like it's good to try new things because change can be good and sometimes not. I keep an open mind on everything new to Halo. If a game type, weapon, or map doesn't play well, that's okay. Things can be changed and worked on. That's fucking print it out, put it on the wall. That's literally what it should be.
Yep.
That is already what it fucking should be, Legend. Just stop. Like, if you see something, stop having that fucking immediate knee-jerk reaction. Take a second, think it through. Wait, like, if it's a new game type, if it's a new map, if it's a new weapon, whatever it is, just wait till it's in the game and try it yourself. Because, yes, like, we also have sat here and we're like, oh, we're concerned about maybe this or that, right? But we never played it. We don't know. We can put our assumptions out there. We can put our potential critiques out there. We can put the potential positives out there. We just don't know. We haven't played it fucking yet. So wait till that happens. Sly Fox, thank you for the follow. Welcome to the live show. I'd be jerking my knees and they hurt all week afterwards. Kids, don't jerk your knees when you get old. Jesus Christ, Mail. Oh, man. Legend wants to try S&D so he can replace Kenny. Oh, God, that's an optic take. All right. That's an optic take right there. Okie dokie. Will, any other thoughts on S&D extraction?
Yeah, I'll just wait till it's there, see how it plays, go from there.
Love it. All right. Let's move on to the recap of the State of the HCS LVT and Tashi interview that took place. You can check out the VOD. It is included in the Google Doc in the show notes of the show. ! Show notes in the chat. If you haven't already watched it, please go do so. I am not going to be recapping every single question that was within that interview, but I wanted to recap the ones that I thought were the most prevalent to our show. So, without further ado, this was split into 3 separate parts, as indicated by Tools at the beginning of the interview. The first part is Seek and Deploy Extraction. The second part is the Ranked Experience. And the third part is the 2025 HCS season. So, from the part 1, Seek and Deploy Extraction, first question from Tools was, or that I have notated here, when can players expect to play the game mode? Tashi replied, first for pro players at the case on LAN, and then talking about, but nothing confirmed at this point, for it to be playable at the majors. Like the 1v1 showdown before it was released to matchmaking. That is potentially going to be the plan, but again, nothing's confirmed at this point. The next question from Tools, how should we expect this to be added within matchmaking? And Tashi said, for this, we might skip a workshop and go straight into the proper launch into ranked. So for those who do not remember, or for those who want a little recap here, they've done these like quote unquote workshop playlists in the past. One of them was the forged mode. Oh my God. I'm gonna sound like an idiot. Was it Fear the Undead? Was that what it was? I forget. There was also a Helldivers mode that I believe they did this experience in too. The Forged Falcons made it. Survive the Undead. Thank you, Akam. I appreciate it. Thank you very much. So yeah, sounds like they're going to be skipping that workshop mode and just putting it in matchmaking proper once they've had enough testing and everything done. Tools asks, do you have an ETA for the time of year for the release? Tashi said, nothing to share at this time, just later this year. So there you go. It'll probably be a while. Part 2, the ranked experience. I like this question from Tools. He asks, should we expect Faceit forms for an additional avenue for feedback? Now, Tools was specifically referencing like before the first LAN, but I believe him and every one of us can agree, like we would love for this to be a feedback avenue throughout the year. And yes. Tashi says, I'll say it is definitely something we should do, and I'll take it back to the team. So Tools, thank you for highlighting that again. Clearly it sounds like it's been a while since this has been a thing. And obviously we're like, Will and I are not going to be getting these forms to fill out, but just the fact that I think they need to exist. Just giving the players an additional opportunity, whether or not they fill them out, just having the opportunity there to put it in front of their face and be like, hey, you competed at this event, whether it be the 4v4, a side tournament, the FFA, whatever it is. We want to know your thoughts. We want to know your feedback in a clear and concise form, so we can know what we can work on, iterate on, whatever it is. So very happy with that. Tools asks, why hasn't the +7, -7, 1700 CSR cap been implemented within all of ranked matchmaking instead of just at that 1700 cap? Tashi replied, we are worried that players will drift from where their actual skill is. With the current cap, ranks are more accurate. So the whole point of that, right, is when you reach 1700 CSR, so Onyx 1700 in ranked, there is like, when you win, you get +7 CSR. When you lose, you get -7 CSR. That is not implemented across the board, like below 1700. Okay. So the question is, could that be implemented within the entire ranked experience, or why hasn't that been implemented within the entire ranked experience? And then Tashi replies, because we're worried that players will drift from where their actual skill is. And then he believes that with the current cap, ranks are more accurate.
Throughout the whole playlist or throughout the whole ranking system, I don't feel they're accurate at this point. I feel like a lot of people's history gets taken into account and not their improvements. And there needs to be something done about that.
Understood. I feel like that was a problem in previous titles as well. I feel like they've done a not so great job of iterating upon that system itself.
Yeah.
Of where you have a rank reset, right? And it should be taking, I agree with you. I believe it should be taking more into account what you've done in the short term versus the long term, you know? So yeah, I agree with you, Will.
Yeah.
Tools asks, what is the process like for maps being added for Assault, and why wasn't Bazaar included? Not going to lie, when this question was asked, I laughed my ass off because I thought, I still think Bazaar is awful, and I don't think that Bazaar would work. Like, personally, I just don't. I think that there's I think it'd be the same exact fucking thing with Bevos that it would be with BRs. You'd be going up palms, opposite palms, and you'd just be shooting cross map the whole time. Nobody'd be able to get anywhere, and it'd just be a dumpster.
Yeah.
So Tashi replied, Bazaar needs a lot more work than we are just able to do at this time. If the team could wave a magic wand, they would probably move out some walls, open up some more paths, change a bunch of spawns, and overhaul the map in a significant way. In other words, that bitch ain't gonna be Bazaar anymore.
Right.
Like, we're not talking about moving, like fucking adding a rock. You know what I mean, Will? Like,
yeah,
we're not talking about that.
Moving walls completely, opening new paths. It's a new map.
Yo,
it might have the same theme.
I loved his candid response, because even like he basically said the map shit without saying that the map is shit. You know what I mean?
Sure.
Like, I love that, because the map is awful. Like, it's not good. Like, there's a reason why it has never been reintroduced. Obviously we don't know the real reason, but like, come on, this shit doesn't fucking work. All right. Tools asks, should we expect more maps to be added throughout the year? And Tashi reiterated, like he did from the Tide Leader episode, we are looking for competitive asymmetrical maps for Oddball at this time. And then later on, it was asked about Guillotine from the Forge Hub events, and I just looped that into this answer. And he said Guillotine is absolutely on our radar and is being play tested. Okay? So there you go. Tools asks, should we expect any more Strongholds maps to be added throughout the year? Because currently, I believe he was talking about that there are only 2 currently, like in the competitive rotation. And Tashi states, if we find a map that only works with Oddball, that would not be as effective as it could be. If we find a map that works for Oddball, Strongholds, and King of the Hill, that's a bigger win. So kind of sounds like a non-answer, but if you kind of read between the lines, it sounds like, yes, while they're looking for an ASIM Oddball map, it sounds like that's not the only criteria that would be effective. They're keeping everything in mind, and so they want maps that work on more modes.
Yeah. Would agree.
What's up, Ash? Welcome back. Good to see you. Tools then asks, should we expect any Bandit Evo nerfs considering the feedback from professional players that the gun may be too easy to use due to the magnetism? Tashi said, we're going to keep an eye on things, and if there's a change we feel needs to be made to the Bandit, then we will make that change. Right now, we do not have anything that we are playtesting. Tools asks, go ahead, Will.
I'll say, so your Bandit's probably staying the same for a long time.
Exactly. Or the Bevo, yes. Going off of that, Will, as a matter of fact, Tools asks, are there plans for these sort of Evo weapons to come out that they're more suited for competitive play like a battle rifle? Tashi said, I think that the Bandit and Evo is more of a one-off. The BR being powerful at a long range is intentional. We're keeping an eye on all feedback, but right now there are no plans for a BR Evo, especially if the feedback is simply to reduce the range. Tools asks, were there ever any plans for multiple starting weapons in the HCS, like map-specific starting loadouts? Tashi says, we have not talked about that. The experience right now is completely tailored for Bandit starts. And then Tools asks, final thoughts on ranked before moving on to the final segment of the interview. And Tashi reiterated, think of S&D extraction being a net addition for the game. Don't consider it as replacing something that you love. We will have a ranked playlist for the game mode. Okay? So again, they're not removing anything. This is just trying to add something new to the game. And frankly, you don't have to play it if you don't want to. But again, try to keep an open mind. Then finally, part 3, the 2025 HCS season. Tools asks, how is the health of the HCS heading into year 4? Tashi replied, the fact we're still going is a testament to how the studio perceives the health of the league, the impact that it has on the franchise, the game, and how the game is performing. The studio has resoundingly decided to invest in the HCS for year 4. I don't think anything better could have been said right there, Will, to be honest.
No, I agree. That was music to our ears, right? They're wanting to bring on year 4. That means, who knows, if there's not a new game out, possible looking at a year 5 if it's still beneficial to the studio. Absolutely.
Tools then asks, what are the goals for the HCS in year 4 and beyond? Tashi said, we look at the HCS as a sort of loyalty program for the game and the franchise. We want to make sure we are taking care of the fans and we're keeping them within our community. So the detailed goals include viewership, live concurrency and relevancy, sponsorships, aka like legitimate sponsors and then skin sales, attendance, online and in person, and then the overall sentiment of the scene, like the feedback and everything that's included there. Long-term goals, this is what he had to say about that. Goals probably will not change that much due to consistently having goals in the right spot based on having a year 4 in the first place. Okay? I believe he went on to iterate that like if things need to change, things can change, but like they're happy where they are right now. Tools asks, what sort of perks have been introduced within the partnership program to entice organizations to stay within the program? The lists of perks and asks include asking of the partnered organizations to have a booth at a major. Now, hear me out here. Because we've heard conflicting information in the past, Will, like by us literally asking him like the same thing previously.
Yes.
And seeing information within, I believe, a Waypoint article way back in the day. I believe at one point the word all was said. As in partnered organizations having booths at all majors. Where the reply here was asking of the partnered organizations to have a booth at a major. No, I don't really need to think too much into it. I feel like I am just for my own sake because like we've heard different answers before.
Right.
And this is the first time that it's been said in a singular fashion and not a plural fashion.
Yeah. We all have also heard, which plays into the second point here, that it is have booths at majors or an online activation, like hosting a tournament.
Mm-hmm. And we also don't see that happen all the time either.
Yes.
You know? So I'm curious. I'm very curious as to what's going to happen here. Yo, Sin, thank you so much for the raid. Welcome, sinners.
Thank you.
Have you used code SINNER for 20% off Licinity's hydration flavor? Rampancy, have you done that? Because you can right now, motherfucker. It's back in stock. Go buy that shit. Hashtag not an ad. Bitch. All right. So... yeah, like you said, Will, asking them to host tournaments, and that's my concern, right? One of my concerns. He says these things consistently, but I feel like we're not seeing the consistency out of the organizations themselves. Like my expectation, again, maybe this is a bad expectation, but I don't feel it is. I feel like it's a bare minimum expectation, to be honest, that if an organization, a partnered organization, can have a booth at an event, they need to have a booth at an event. Like plain and simple. If you're willing and able to, you should absolutely, it should be mandatory that you have a booth at the event. And I know, like, I've given FaZe shit in the past, like especially for that fucking, oh my God, what was it? Was it Arlington? Where they had like 2 shirts or whatever the fuck it was, and it wasn't really a booth, but I more so blame the venue than FaZe, regardless.
Yeah.
You know what I'm talking about. And like the fact that Native Gaming, who isn't even a partnered organization, is able to have booths or tables or whatever it may be. Like what the fuck are these partnered organizations doing? Like that's fucking insane to me. Like you're getting sales from your skins in the game. You're getting promoted in additional ways through this partnership program. In my opinion, the least you can do is fucking be present at a major.
Yeah, the majors are the high points. It's where you can support your team, grow your brand, like be there for the community. It does feel like it should be a no-brainer for these orgs that are established and have the funds. They should be able to do that.
Absolutely. Tool says they just don't want to spend the money on labor, the cost of sending people there and being present. And that's, I understand, but it's not a good excuse in my opinion. Like, it's just not a good excuse to me. Like if you are in the program itself, if you're in that partnership program and you are in that partnership with the HCS, I mean, it's the whole fucking point. Then I think the bare minimum is that you have a presence at majors. Because like Will said, it's about growing the brand as well. It's my whole point, right? Is I love, like, I know I'm not everybody, but like I love buying merch. And the thing for me is if you make it easily accessible, are you kidding me? I'm going to go hog wild on your fucking table. Like seriously, if you make it easy for me, if you're making it easy for me, you're making it easy for everybody in the venue. To just literally stroll up and be like, oh, what do you have here? Oh yeah, this is our event exclusive shirt. Like, frankly, even if it looks like dog shit, it's an event exclusive thing that's optic. It's probably going to sell anyway. It's probably going to sell anyway. Like, it's still crazy to me, regardless of the cost of labor. And I know you have to ship everything out, and that can also be expensive and all that. I understand. I do. I really do understand. It's an investment, right? And you may not earn back what you've spent on that investment. But if you're just not even giving your fans or potential new fans that opportunity to really actually like get in and support you guys, then what the fuck's the point?
Yeah. I want to, Tool's comment here was something I was going to bring up as well. No one cared about SSG as an Oregon Halo the first event. They won people over because of their commitment to their booth activations, and that was it. I mean, I remember going up to their booth, me and you, at Raleigh, and talking with those guys, and it was incredible. You know, they knew what they had on the field, but look at what they've done since, you know? Look at what they've done since.
Holy shit. That was probably the biggest dig at old rosters I've ever heard. Oh, you're not wrong. You're not wrong. And the thing I'll never forget, like one of our first interactions with them was like we bought so much of their shit, they gave us free shit.
Yeah.
Like I'll never it's like a little gesture like that, right? That like even now you can go up, like you buy stuff or whatever, you're like, oh, I forgot to get this. They may just hand it to you, be like, hey, don't worry about it. It's just little, it's fucking gestures like that. It's the activations that some of these organizations have. Like even, like if we want to scale down a bit, right? Like even with Sentinels and the weapons, like just the weapon props that they had, it just brings a little bit more of an experience to your table. Yeah, you have the merch and you have the stickers and you have the G Fuel, and that's great. And that's amazing. But the fact that you have like this model BR and this model AR that you can pose with and take pictures and shit, it just adds to the experience. So I really do hate when organizations don't try to put that effort in to just be present. Because like if we all tout that we want the scene to grow and we want it to thrive and all this stuff, then why the fuck aren't you guys doing your bare minimum? I mean, I guess the bare minimum is that you're putting up a roster with a salary, and that's great. Like you allow them to compete, and that's fantastic. You give them hopefully a living wage and everything. But like, I know not every organization does, but bear with me. But it's just crazy to me that a lot of these organizations just don't fucking have booths at events. It to me, it seems like one of the most basic things. It truly does. Or fuck it, you could do the whole Cloud9 thing where you integrate within the HCS booth.
Sure.
Just have a fucking presence.
Yeah.
And I say that as somebody who thinks that the new Cloud9 merch looks fucking awesome. Like their new jerseys look great. And if you have them at events and you have them easily accessible, somebody's going to walk up and be like, oh, that's fucking sick. And then they're going to learn more about those players. And they're going to want to be invested into the organization and the team. And then they may look into other esports that the team is competing in. It just starts steamrolling. It just starts snowballing. Like, come on, guys. Just do the bare minimum. Like, I want you to make money. I want you to be sold out of your merch on Sunday. Are you kidding me? That'd be amazing. But even if you don't, just being there and having the ability for people to buy. Yeah. It's why, like, Will, I'm sorry, but like, it's why I harp on it so much in our post shows.
Yeah.
Because it's like, I want the people who are spending their money for flights, for Airbnbs, for hotels, for the tickets to the event, for food, whatever it may be, like everything that goes into attending an HCS event. I want them to have the best experience possible. And merch is a part of that. Like these partnered organization booths are a part of that. Like, yes, obviously we're all going there to watch the game being played that we all love watching and to see the players that we love watching and maybe compete yourself, right? Open bracket, FFA, side tournaments, whatever, but just the experience as a whole. I want folks to be able to be getting their money's worth when they step into an HCS event. Because when they don't, it fucking hurts. Because who knows if they're going to go to another one. Like, it's why, selfishly, it's why I always say, like, go to SLC, go to Worlds. Space Station have done it time and time again. And Worlds is the culmination of what every team has put in for the year. I know those events are going to be phenomenal. I want the same for all of them. So. What's up, Austin? Welcome back. Michael says, I thought people go to see my beautiful smile. Oh, sure, bud. Sure. Meg McMuffin, thank you for the follow, by the way. Welcome to the live show. All right. We're still on the same question, Will. I apologize.
All good.
But in terms of the hosting of the tournaments, Tashi also went on to iterate that said, it can be influencer tournaments, it can be open tournaments, etc. Right? So they're not confined in like, oh, it has to be a 4v4, right? It has to have this many teams, whatever.
Yeah.
They can use sponsors that directly conflict with the HCS's sponsors. So they don't have to worry about stuff like that. Like the booths that they have at majors, if they have sponsors included with that, they can conflict directly with HCS sponsors. And then along with like the skins and everything too, right? They can create co-branded HCS merch. And Tashi, I believe, also added that all organizations have to do is pay a small royalty in order to use that license. Like to have actually branded HCS merch like that we saw with other organizations in the past. So yeah, those are some of the perks that you get, or like what you're asked of by being a partnered organization. Moving on to the next question here. No sin, no, that was never mentioned. Tools asks, why the delay in the new HCS partnership bundles? Tashi replied, the Infinite team has changed the process in how they create content. A lot of the studio is focused on new projects, so it just takes a little bit longer. Basically, we have to get in line with all the other priorities in the game. We're working on an upgrade from what we had last year, and it's not just as simple as a coding. So there's a teaser for what we're working on. Tools asked, timeline for when they'll be added to the store? Tashi replied, it's going to be a while. After Arlington, probably sometime later this summer. So that sounds like midway through the season.
Yeah. A little bummer, but
yeah. You know what that makes me wonder, Will?
What's that?
I'm very curious then, because obviously it sounds like they want to do something more with these bundles. I'm really curious if we don't get playoff bundles this year. Like if we don't get two sets. Right. I'm curious.
Especially with how long this is taking. Unless they knock them both out at the same time.
Yeah.
Got those skins in early, but I don't think teams would really know at that point.
Yep. It's my concern. And again, this is an assumption, guys. This is not me knowing. I don't know what the fuck's going on behind the scenes there, but like that's a pure assumption. Ash says that sucks for the new orgs a lot. I agree.
Yeah.
And granted, like, even if they're the coolest fucking bundles in the world, like that, again, this is an assumption, guys. This is an assumption. I'm thinking it's going to be like midway through the fucking season at least until these bundles release. That's like half your year that you're missing out on these sales.
Yeah. I would hope before SLC, you know?
Yeah. I would hope so too. That saddens me. I want to show support by buying skins for the new HCS partner teams. We all do, man. Legend, we all do. From what I understand, the orgs get a stipend before the sales start. So after that, you hit X amount and you get the money after. Oh, okay. Okay. Pseudo, I don't know, man. Also, thank you for the follow, by the way. Welcome to the live show. I'm curious. The thing that I've been fucking harking on Tashi about, and hopefully this is the new thing. I want animated skins. We haven't had animated skins since the game released, and I want them so bad. Like the fact that Gears can fucking do it and COD can fucking do it. Why the fuck can't we? Tool says Unreal. I know. Okay. Fuck. I get it. I still want it. Tools, just like you want fucking different starting loadouts for map mode combinations, I want fucking animated skins. How hard is this to fucking ask for? You know what I mean? Ash says, I hope that when Arlington tickets go on sale, all the orgs have a discount code properly. Yeah. Cloud9. Shut up, Tools. Jesus Christ. All right. Moving on, Tools asks, are there any updates and or additions for the grassroots program? Tashi said, the team has been really focused on taking care of everyone that is in the program currently. Whenever we add more people to the program, it's kind of in a sense of more mouths to feed. We try to be cautious and sure that we are measured in how we bring people into the program. We haven't brought anyone in a long time, so there is room for us to reevaluate that. I've asked the team to update the strategy on HCS Grassroots and where we want to take things in the future. So a longer answer, which is the same answer of what we've had before.
Yeah.
Souls asks, is there any plans to have a support structure for small tournament organizers? Tashi replied, there is nothing concrete right now, but we are certainly open to it. The right opportunities have to make sense. There's probably more that we can do, especially when updating the strategy for Grassroots. That was a better answer. All right, here was a big one. Tools asks, can you talk about the decision to keep the international teams competing through the open bracket instead of granting another spot in pool play? Tashi replied, the decision was based on competitive longevity at the highest level. We felt like it warranted a step back. We'll see how they continue to perform and make decisions as we go. We felt like we haven't quite seen enough to warrant a change. Tools asks, is there a way for that to change this year? Tashi replied, we try to take it year by year with these decisions. We don't want to disrupt the pool play format in the middle of the season. But if a team comes out and gets a crazy high placement, then it's looks like we got that one wrong, and we'll look at making updates. Last two that I have here. Tools asks, is there any sort of long-term plan to open up the region lock outside of Mexico and include more of Central and South America? Tashi replied, the reality is that there are just not as many players in those South American countries as there are a bit further up north. In the near future, I wouldn't expect our regional format to change. And the last one that I have here, Tools asks, are there any plans for updates to crowdfunding? And Tashi said, there's no change to the plans in the near future that we're going to bring crowdfunding back. So there you go. Oh, Beast, we all do, man. We all do. I still, Gerb, thank you for the follow. Welcome to the live show, by the way. I still believe, as of right now, granted, maybe it's because my expectation was bad, but hear me out. You know that fucking SMG that released, Will?
Yeah.
There's no skins for it.
True.
It's a UNSC weapon. They added this to the game, and there's no ability to change the skin on it.
I never thought about that.
It's such a small thing because you're not using it in every playlist, but just the fact it's not even in the armory, there's nothing for it. Or I should say the customization. There's nothing in the customization menus for it. So, and then yeah, no skins for banished weapons, no skins for Covenant shit, no skins for nothing. It's just UNSC weapons except the SMG that they released. Oh shit. All right. Will, any additional thoughts from the interview recap before we move on?
No, I'm glad we got some more clarity on what's coming up and what's happening behind the scenes a little bit. And great job to LVT as always and Tools.
Seriously, shout out to you guys. Great job in the interview. And yeah, just looking forward to the season continuing. And hopefully people not taking online out of fucking context. Oh, wait, they already have. Schmatty D, thank you for the follow. Welcome to the live show. Tools, it's okay. It's okay. My thing is that I typically think of things after something else has already been asked. So there were some follow-ups that I would want clarification on, but nothing I'm dying to know. You know what I mean? Because I already know the answers we're going to get. And some of the questions that you already asked, right, is what is the Dallas Open? Oh, we'll talk about it later. No, but what is it? No, we'll talk about it later. Keep your expectations low. It's not a major. It's going to have less shit as a major. All right, Tools, I will. Thank you. All right. Then Will. With that is the end of the competitive news. Which means it's time for Rostermania!
All right, a few teams to go over this week that got announced. We'll start with the Jumperscape Tempest. And I should have pre-read these gamer tags, people. It's going to be Vise, Instigator, Dizzy, and Aperture. We do have SWAT, Lat Tam coming together. This is Lure, Pool God, Strikey, Roach, and is it supposed to be Megazord or is it Marazord?
It is Marazord.
Marazord, okay.
Yes.
I knew there was a Megazord player out there at one point, so I was curious.
I also was wondering if it was Megazord at first when typing it out, but no, I believe it is Marazord.
Gotcha. Next up, Team Ether. This is going to be Drift, Acid, Noble, Tapping Buttons, and Nugget. And last but not least, Cloud9. Finally, Boo Boo Doo Manny, Sab, Septify, and Censor as a coach.
I felt like it took them all a fucking year to make that announcement.
You know,
Jesus Christ.
First open tournament happens. You think you'd be announced. Yes, I'm throwing shade at one particular team here.
Well, technically, too.
Yeah.
Technically, too.
Yeah. Come on, guys. What are you doing? We're starting. We're in here.
It should. I thought it's.
I think it's soon.
I think it's this week.
Yes.
Yeah.
Should be.
I think it's this week. But also remember, Fnatic still Ash
after the first major.
I'm mad, Will, that maybe we'll have to do it after this year. Like I'm gonna make a mental note. I'll put it in our chat that we have. But I'll make a note that I really do want to do like a best events of Infinite HCS, like in our opinions, like over the years, because I that fucking Fnatic moment is easily in top 10. It still sticks out in my mind.
That interview on the screen,
dude. I fucking lost it. We believe we can make a team of top tier free agent talent. I'm like, motherfucker, no, you can't.
Not at this point.
And look what they did. Holy shit. Still one of the greatest moments in Infinite HCS history. You don't have a team at the first major of the fucking year, and then you have the audacity to have that video play in the fucking venue. I lost it. And they were never the same.
Oh my God. No.
Jesus Christ. Still got those skins, though. Still got those skins, though.
Yep.
Hell yeah. All right. Will, thank you for going through those. It's time for the upcoming tournaments of the week presented by noobcomic.com. Check out noobcomic.com for all your Halo esports needs. Tuesday, March 4th. That's tomorrow. HRL Recreational FFA is taking place. Go sign up if you haven't already. Wednesday, March 5th, Halo Rec League Mixed is taking place. And on Thursday, March 6th, Halo Rec League Pre-Made is taking place. Friday, March 7th is Some Like It SWAT number 2. And then Saturday, March 8th and Sunday, March 9th, we have the HCS Open Series Road to Arlington for North America number 2. Epic Beast? No, we're not talking about that because you haven't announced a full roster yet. I contemplated it, motherfucker. I did. I saw the announcement. I saw the announcement. And I'm like, oh, I should No. You get to wait until everyone else is on the roster. Then we make the announcement. Okay? Then it's in the show, motherfucker. You know what the best part is? I have the tweet saved still. Just like the tournament that's happening next week, right? Next weekend. Not this coming weekend, but the following weekend. I still have that tweet saved because we're going to talk about it next week.
Mm-hmm.
See? Don't fucking come at me, beast. All right? Make it mythical on your ass. Just wait.
Ooh.
Oh, yeah. Sunday, March 9th. HCS Open Series Road to Arlington for EU, Mexico, and Australia, New Zealand number 2. Those are taking place. And yes, believe it or not, folks, the links are live right now. So you can register right now. Do it up. That's it for the upcoming tournaments of the week presented by noobcomic.com. Check out noobcomic.com for all your Halo esports needs. Will, I promised they'd be here. They're fucking here now.
They're here.
Scrim Tournament League recaps. Will, what do we got?
All right. First off, Scrim's available for all regions at Halo Data Hive. Make sure to go check it out. Monday, February 24th, SSG took on Complexity. It was 9-6 going to SSG. Optic played Trippy's team. That was a 13-2 going to Optic. And then Shopify won 14-1 over Cloud9. On Tuesday, February 25th, Shopify 10-4 against Trippy team. Optic 14-1 against Cloud9.
Again.
And SSG 15-2 over TSM. Seems to be a trend.
A little bit. Just a little bit.
Just a little bit. Finally, Wednesday, February 26th, two of the do we call them the big three yet?
Yeah, I would.
Shopify versus SSG. This went 10-4 going to Shopify. Then on the 27th, Shopify took on TSM. That was 15-1. And then Friday, February 28th, Optic against TSM, 14-2 going to Optic. Shopify against Complexity, 13-0 going to Shopify. And then SSG and Trippy's team, I should enunciate. It was a stalemate, 5-5.
Indeed, it was.
Yeah. If you take stock in scrims, there you go.
If you're Reddit, you're taking a lot of stock in these scrim results.
I think there's something to be said about some of the scrim results.
Do you want me to play along for a second? Because I do have an opinion.
Sure.
I'm not as bullish on TSM.
Yeah.
Because obviously everybody knows my opinions on scrims. Everybody knows my opinion on online results. And everybody understands, or hopefully understands, this isn't just me, but like generally speaking, we all should understand that LAN is a completely different experience than playing online. The game, while the game is the same, the game plays differently on LAN versus online. That is why, just to give people a heads up, maybe people are new here, that's why I don't put a lot of stock in these things. That's why I don't like to spend a lot of time on these things, even though I understand that they can be good discussion points. That's just my thought process behind it. But if I want to play along for a minute, and I am just looking at these scrims, and I look at this online open result, I'm not bullish on TSM right now.
I think that's a fair assessment.
And one of the things that jumped out to me, Will, was that LVT video. And I know it was against Optic, which are like literally the God Squad. But when you see the decision making that some of the TSM players are making, and they just the other teams just look like they're faster, they're better. Yeah. So I am waiting to reserve full judgment until after this first LAN takes place. Because that way I think we'll have a better view. And I said this last year, I said the fucking year before, and probably the year before that. We'll have a better overview of what the landscape looks like.
Sure.
And Will, I'm also not going to fucking sit here and if Optic win or whoever wins the first LAN, right? I'm not going to sit here and say, oh, they're going to fucking, like, that's it. The game over, right?
Yeah. Teams adapt, iterate throughout the year.
Yes. And that's also, again, we said this earlier in the show too. It's super easy to sit here and say that Optic will win every event because that's what they are built to do. It is super easy to say something like that. And frankly, if for people who believe that, I don't blame them. I don't think they're dumb. I don't think anything of the sort. Like it's genuinely, Will, it's like fucking Worlds last year, right? Where I went out on a fucking limb and said, I think this is the time that FaZe get it right. And they're going to go back to back and they're going to shut everything down. They're going to prove that this is who they are. But no, I don't know if this is the right word to say, but like, I'm going to say it anyway. Like the easy pick would be Space Station because they were fucking dominant all year. And they had yet to prove that they didn't deserve to win or they haven't earned that spot, you know?
Sure.
And so I know that this is scrims. I know this is an online open series, the first one of the year. But I would not, like, I'm not going to be mad if somebody's out there being like, oh, Optic are going to fucking sweep the season because that's what they're built to do.
Yeah.
So, sorry, I'm going to get off my soapbox. Here you go.
All good. With that, we'll roll into the College Halo 2v2 Spartan Showdown presented by USF Esports Results. And I know, Josh, go ahead.
No, I want to ask you, do you have any thoughts on these recent Scrim results? Are any teams sticking out to you? What are your thoughts there?
Yeah, we'll roll it back here. With Scrims, looking at just the results, you can't base it off that. Like, if you're actually watching these teams play, sometimes you can hear their comms, sometimes not. You can get a good grip of what's actually going on with the team, you know?
Mm-hmm.
And who knows, sometimes maybe a team's not taking it as seriously as the other, and they're just playing it for reps and not revealing all their strats. But you can get a good indication sometimes on how these teams are working together, what they're working for, what they're planning to do. So I think there's some things you can take from Scrims, but just taking the results at face value, there's more to it.
Absolutely.
All right. College Halo 2v2 Spartan Showdown. Josh, do you want to...
Showdown!
Presented by USF Esports. Second place went to Maskey and Rhett. And first place, Passion United own Palfius and Maddie, taking it home.
Congratulations.
Let's go.
Be united. Right there, baby.
Yes.
Right there.
Yeah. Next up, we'll go through the HCS Open Series Road to Arlington results for EU, Mexico, and Australia, New Zealand. Starting with Australia, New Zealand. Fourth place went to Just Play Bro. This was Monza and Chef, Spectre, and Cheesin. Third went to Team Bilsey, which was Bilsey, Lebus, Reaver, and Maestriax. Second went to Combat Evolve. This was Ninjestics, Pippins, Lolly, and Benno. And first went to Mind Freak.
Hold on.
Meister,
I'm not ready for this. Are you ready? Okay, you're good.
Good. All right. Scoopmeister, Sways, Plasma, and Rice. Mind Freak completed a perfect tournament, not dropping a single game. Dominance. Just pure dominance.
And dare I say, Will, going back to last year, the year before that, dare I say, as expected?
Yeah. I would say expected.
Yeah. Not a detriment to the other teams, but just like this is what we've come to expect.
Right.
Yeah.
Next up, Mexico. Fourth place went to Centenegra. This was Ascendrado. So sorry. Atzo, Azerum, and Negativity. I don't know. I need more information on those tags. Third went to Mejores Amigos. This was Sepstars, Dolan Season, Magico, and Lunatics. Second went to SWAT, Latam, Lure, Rort, Strikey, and Pool God. And first went to Ether, Drift, Tapping Buttons, Acid, and Noble. Again, Ether completed a perfect tournament, not dropping a single game. Insane.
Congratulations to them as well. And again,
yeah.
Dare I say, Will, as expected?
The players we're used to seeing at the top, being at the top, I would say little expected.
Yeah.
All right. For EU, fourth place went to Romance. This was Baxter, Desire, Hyam Ninja, and Flubso. Third, I'm going to say Pino the Dino, because it rhymes. Sunrise, Moe's, Bastos, and Kimbo. Second went to Team Pippa. This was Jimbo, Mighty, Sika, and Chick. And first, Team Nemesis, Woodham, Snipe Drone, SLG, and Glory, only dropping 2 games through the entire tournament run.
I'm very curious. Obviously, last year we had the whole Quadrant ITB kind of back and forth, right?
Yeah.
So I'm curious if we're going to have the Nemesis Pippa back and forth. I'm going to keep my eye on them. Definitely going to keep my eye on them.
All right. And then HCS Open Series for North America. Fourth place went to SSG with Eco, Snakebite, Lucid, and Stellar. Third went to Better, Penguin, Suppressed, Trippy, and Falcated. Second, Shopify Rebellion, Last Shot, Frosty, Royal 2, and Cycle. And first went to Optic Gaming, Bound, Renegade, Legend, and Formal.
Couple takeaways here from the North American side of things, right?
Yeah.
Is again, but I'm going to play along. Okay.
Okay.
So here we go. Couple takeaways that I had from watching the games, right? Not like you can talk to me about stats all day if you want, but just watching the games. SSG are not there yet. Like that's a clear kind of takeaway, right? They're not there yet. They're not fast enough. They obviously have things that they need to be working on. They understand that. They'll work on that. They should be better, right? Like that's you ask them, you see fucking takes online, like they know what they need to work on. They should be able to work on it. They should be better. Again, like I talked about with TSM earlier, I'm a little worried. If I'm taking these at face value, I'm a little worried. Shopify and Optic, right? Both their series went to game 5s.
Yeah, it was close.
It was very close. And some of the games, obviously, were very close as well. To say this was the expectation, I think could be valid. Because when like we were hearing the rumblings behind the scenes that this roster was going to be made, our literal immediate thought was, oh, like they should win. Like if they don't, then things are really bad, but they should fucking win. And yeah, they're just, I look at a Shopify and I look at an Optic and I look at how they play versus these other teams that are like, obviously all these teams have things that they need to work on because no team's perfect. But the main takeaway that I have from a Shopify and an Optic versus the others is the speed of which they play. Like I said it before during one of the off-season tourneys that like Shopify literally just reminded me of 2018 Splice.
Yeah.
And I watched that and I'm like, what the it's like they just unlocked another level of the ferocity that they have on a map. And when you have the two teams that are frankly at the very beginning of the season perfect at that, and they go up against each other, it was fireworks. It was fireworks both series. So, I think another thing to take into consideration here is, better. They reverse swept Space Station, if I'm not mistaken. Space Station went up 2-0 in that series. Better came out hot for the other 3 games. They reverse sweep, then send them home. So yeah, that's kind of where I'm at right now. The thing. My main few takeaways are, again, if I'm going to strictly fucking base this on an online perspective right now at the beginning of the season, I'm worried about TSM. And I'm very curious because we know how Druck can be on LAN as well. Like he can turn up. That team can turn up. It's guys, for lack of a better phrase, it's native red, right? That's what the team basically is. And we've seen what they've been able to do in the past. So knowing what they're able to accomplish on LAN, if they're able to put that work in, I'm not going to write them off, right? But I won't lie, I'm a little concerned. Yeah. And then additionally, Will, before I hand it off to you, again, the other things were Shopify and Optic just feel like they're a step ahead in terms of speed and in terms of ferocity on the map from what I'm watching. And Space Station obviously have work that they need to do. It feels like they need to speed up a little bit. It feels like they're just not as cohesive right now. So obviously things will take time. They know what they need to work on. These other teams know what they need to work on too. It's just whether or not they capitalize on that and they actually do learn from it. And I expect them to.
Yeah.
Will, your thoughts?
No, I agree with the Optic and Shopify. They're fast on the map. They're efficient in everything they do. They're executing at a high level, and it's insane. can agree with your TSM take that, you know, Druck does turn up on land. Can't forget about him. He might not perform online, but I think when things come together, you can't look past him. Space Station does need something. Maybe more, like you said, more cohesiveness, more time together. Who knows? Will they get that together? I think they will. I think all those competitors want to win at a high level. It feels like, you know, they're top 3 or bust, right?
Yep.
So we'll see what happens with them. And then Penguin suppressed Trippy Falcated. I feel like that's kind of like the dark horse team that can cause some upsets during the year.
Absolutely.
So
Yes.
I think it's going to be a great year, Halo, man. I think the competition is going to be at the highest level.
Yep.
With all of these teams changing, all these players landing in different spots. Land's going to be the first test, and I'm excited for it.
I know that everybody's been hearing it left, right, and center now, but I think it bears repeating as well, right? Is that we've never had a year 4 in a title before. This is literally uncharted territory. We've never been in this situation before. Frankly, and I will be the first to admit, I did not think this was going to happen. I did not think we'd be in a situation where we had a year 4, and I own that shit, right? But we do. We have a year 4. When's the Kason tournament? March 29th, the end of this month. And it's an invitational. 4 teams will be there. It's a LAN, but that is it. So we've never been in this situation before. And Will, I agree with you 100%. I think this will be, and I've said this year over year because it stayed true year over year, that I think this will be the most competitive year that we've had in Infinite by far. I said that last year because it was true then. I said it year before that because it was true then as well. These teams only get better. They learn more strategies on these maps, more strategies with these game modes and these weapons in the sandbox and whatever it is. They learn more together as players and as teammates. They're only going to get better.
Yeah.
I missed something here that I wanted to. Sequacious says, last shot's absent from TSM compared to last year cannot be understated, though. No, I agree. I agree. They lost.
Great point.
Yeah, they lost the player who did arguably the most damage of the year.
Yeah.
And that's nothing to fucking scoff at. And Sequacious, it was you or somebody else had said, like, that he could be MVP this year. I do think he'll be MVP this year. In our too early to tell preseason predictions that are probably going to be wrong anyway, like, I do believe that Last Shot will win MVP this year. So, yes, obviously that is a big hit to that roster. But if I'm just going to spin it ever so slightly, the roster that TSM has are teammates that have been together for a long time. And I've had my reservations about that in the past, Will. You remember, during the Native Red days.
Yes, you have.
So I'm very curious how things will play out now. We'll have to wait and see. We'll have to wait and see. Buddha, thank you for the follow. Welcome to the live show. In Middleton, thank you for the follow. Welcome to the live show as well. Loki says, Triggers down look pretty impressive this weekend as well. I don't want to sound like an asshole. I would say as expected to where I would expect them to be.
Yeah, that's fair.
What's up, Hawkeye? Welcome back. So yeah, but Will, I agree with you as well with the whole Trippy's team, aka FaZe. Very, very much looking forward to seeing what those guys are able to do. Because if they catch a team, maybe I think what I'm about to say, I think is doing them a disservice by saying what I'm about to say. But like if they catch a team off guard at a major or whatever and cause that upset, frankly, maybe this is me taking a step too far right now, but I don't even think it'd be considered an upset. Those players are just that good.
I feel like they're just being looked past because of what Space Station, Shopify, and Optic have.
Correct. I agree.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I don't think it would be an upset. I still believe, now again, too early to tell, right? While I personally still believe we have a big three, I think we are so much closer. I think we're closer than we were last year in having more of a big four. Where last year, I don't think we had a big four at all. Like, I know people wanted to say that we did, and they want, like, no offense to Shopify at that time, but like people wanted to put Shopify in that conversation. No. I didn't see it all year. And
it was
again,
hard to put them in a big three or big four conversation when they could not go. They didn't do anything on Sundays.
Yep. Exactly. And again, that's nothing against the players of that team.
No.
We love all of them, and we're excited to see what they're able to do on the new rosters, existing rosters, whatever. It's just when you look at it, when you watch the games being played, they just weren't good enough. But now, with the roster that they have now, I'm confident putting them in the big three discussion. Because I think they do have what it takes with the roster that they have to actually win. But we'll have to wait and see.
Yeah.
All right. So, but the last thing I'll say, Will, before we move on, because the rest of the show should be fairly short here.
Yeah.
I know that people love to take these online events as gospel.
Yes.
I understand. I know that it can lead to some great discussion. Twitter, Reddit, whatever, on our show, whatever it may be, right? I understand. But just, I ask that you don't. Okay? I ask, and I know it's hard. I know I'm just a guy. But like, all I ask is that you take a step back and you don't take these online results, whether it be an off-season tournament, an online open, or a scrim, and take it as this means that this team is final. You know what I mean? That's all I'm asking. I know no one's going to take that advice, but I'm just going to put it out there anyway, Will, just in case someone does.
You can try all you want, man, but you know how it is. You know how it's going to go.
I do. I am fully aware. As every fucking week I mention it. Mr. Chief says Triggers down as a dynasty, just accept it. You know what? Again, those are the types of takes that we need. Those are them. Keep bringing those types of takes. So stop with the whole like optics going to win everything all year, because that's an easy take. That's like that's a baseline foundational, like this is like duh. That's an easy fucking take based off the roster that they have. Because frankly, they should win every event. Okay? They made the roster for a reason. Formal got who he wanted. They should win every event. I mean that. Like, this isn't me, like, not showing bias or anything like that. This is like literally what they should. So, Michael says Triggers down is winning every event, calling it. Now stop it, Mike. God damn it. Mike, you can't have the same take. You gotta come in with a different, hotter take. Guys, give us your hot takes for the HCS season, okay? Give us your hot takes. Let's see them. I'm genuinely curious if people like have like a legitimately hot take for the season. I want to know. While hopefully people type that out in chat, Will, I think it's time we get into some regular news.
All right.
MCC EAC update. This is by Halo Support. A small update to perform easy anti-cheat maintenance for Halo MCC is now available. This update requires download on both PC and Xbox consoles. If you experience errors after updating, submit a ticket. They had an update to this update. Shortly after this update release, they put out a tweet that said, the studio is investigating reports of easy anti-cheat errors when launching Halo MCC from the Microsoft Store or Xbox app on PC. Shit's fucked, bro. Oh, god damn it. Could never have a good one. And to my knowledge, I don't think there's been an update yet, like, to that.
No?
I'm going to look literally right now, but I don't believe so. Yeah, this was as of March 1st. Okay, so 2 days ago, and there's yet to be a tweet with an update like that's been resolved.
Damn.
Damn is right, dude. Danny Phantom.
All right, Josh. I'm gonna read off some of these hot takes. You give your
Shit. All right.
impressions. You ready?
Give me 1 second. Danny with the 17-month resub. You get a woo! All right, we'll go for it. I'm ready. Hit me with them.
Lethal Dark Horse MVP.
That's a hot take. I'm going to disagree with that one, but I love it. Fuck me, Dan. Shout out Campbell. It's not happening. Okay, go ahead.
From Michael, Formal going to get second every event again.
Michael, shut the fuck up. I don't think that's a hot. I don't think that's a hot take. I also don't think it'll happen. Regardless, like Will in our preseason predictions, we had them winning an event. But even then, like I said, like I would not be surprised. I mean this. You can fucking hold me accountable on this. I would not be surprised if they win everything. I would not be surprised. I want there to be difference. Like I want there to be different winners, but I would not be surprised in the fucking slightest if they win everything. Go ahead, Will.
From Magic Artistry, Formal wins MVP.
I like that. What a fuck you that would be too.
Yeah, to like here I can do it.
Not only that, but like you see the stigma around him. Like we literally had somebody like poking fun at the people who said like, oh, he's playing Marvel Rivals and he can't fucking compete anymore. And look what happened.
Right.
You know? So like, man, that would be, I like that take.
I can see it happening.
That's the thing is I don't think it's too hot.
No.
Oh, I like that. I like that take. Like if Last Shot has the year he had last year, but this year, and it leads to actually wins of events, I want Last Shot to take it. But I mean, if Optic win every event, you kind of have to do it. You know what I mean?
Right. Yes. Yeah.
Or do you give it to Renegade at that point? Because like people thought that he was robbed as well. Because we've had Lucid, we've had Stellar, and we've had Legend.
Right.
So.
Yeah, people do think Renegade should get one.
We'll have to wait and see. Go ahead.
Cycle has more slays than anyone in HCS.
Ooh. Oh. I think that's a warm take. Not hot.
Too hot.
Not too hot. I think it's a warm take. Actually, you know what? Again, I think that is a perfectly seared steak take right there.
Okay.
Because do I see it happening? No. But could it? Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm on board with that.
It's a good take. I like that take.
Shopify win Worlds, solidifying Royal 2 as the Halo GOAT from just your average Halo guy.
I love that. That's a hot take. I like that.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I mean that as in like, I don't say it. I'm saying this as that I don't think it's a hot take because I think it's like, oh my God, it's so outlandish. It could never happen. I'm thinking it's such a hot take because this is the beginning of the season, right? We haven't seen any of these newer rosters perform on LAN yet. So we don't know what's about to happen, but man, that's a great take. I love that take.
All right. Sequacious, Piggy's team, top 6 consistently.
So are we saying that Piggy competes in Dark Inside again? And then Dark Inside takes top 6 all year?
There's no roster announcement yet.
Correct. But like he says, like, because he's a content creator for Dark Inside, right?
Sure.
No, I thought according to his Twitter, I thought he's a player for Dark Inside.
Sure. Player for Dark Inside.
Whatever
may happen. What do you have?
I understand. Top 6 all year. That's a hot take. That is a hot take. We need to keep in mind orgs that haven't announced their rosters yet officially. Cloud9 could be sneaky. You never know what you're going to get. I don't care what roster it is. With that organization, you never know what Cloud9 you're going to get at a tournament. Are the top LATAM team going to make noise? What's Nemesis going to do? I think it's fuck me, and I love Piggy. I think it's a hot take. They take top 6 all year.
All right. One more from Michael here. Falcade will be the best objective player this year.
That's a hot take. Mike, you redeemed yourself there. That's a hot take.
From Mr. Chief, Frosty returns to MVP form this season.
Lukewarm take.
Could possibly happen,
yeah.
right?
Oh, I see that. I could see that absolutely happening. It's a lukewarm take for me.
And again from Mr. Chief, Optic win only one major.
Shit. Because this contradicts what I was saying before. I think that is I don't think that's a hot take. I don't think that's a hot take. Obviously, everything depends on what teams do on a LAN, but I don't think that's a hot take. With an expectation of like, yeah, they should win every event. Even I don't think that's a hot take.
Last but not least here, Pawkeye says Mythic Gaming winning Worlds.
there it is. There's the hottest of hot takes right there, ladies and gentlemen.
Hottest takes.
Love that.
Let's go.
With your singular player on your roster, they will win Worlds. Congratulations, Mailman. Love that. Oh, man. Actually, I did see something, Will.
Scroll past something. What did I miss?
Positive Affirmation Gaming, thank you for the follow, by the way, said Piggy needs a team with Ryanoob, Sparty, and Gunplexion. I think that's a hot take. Personally. Also, you want to know, Will, kind of bringing it back to the Open Series just for a second because Sparty is now in my mind.
Yeah.
I am the same thoughts that I've had about Complexity year over year remain true as of right now. And this is coming from somebody who really wants them to do well because I know Spartan has like a lot that he's fucking playing for this year.
Yeah.
And he's worked through a lot over the past year. Some of it his own fault, obviously. But there's a lot of things he was working through over the last year. A lot of personal stuff as well. And I want nothing more than to see him just play lights out. But man, I can't help but sit here and think to myself the same thoughts that I've had about Complexity year over year. And again, this is with in mind that this was Scrim results, off season, one Open Series to start the year. So I'll withhold full judgment until the first LAN, but that's where I'm at right now. I think we all do, average Halo guy. And like, I know people have their thoughts about Spartan, like individually, and I've had my reservations about him. I've said it on the show multiple times. But no, I like I said, I want nothing more than for him to be playing lights out. And I really hope he's able to. It's just, yeah, I'll withhold full judgment until after the first LAN, but Complexity is not doing me any favors. So, what's up, Sin from Sin's TV? Legend says, I personally want Formal to win Worlds, so the haters are boiling on the Reddit. Also, Bound and Legend go down as the second duo in HCS to win back-to-back rings next to Royal 2 and Snakebite. That'd be sweet. That'd be fucking sweet. As much as, and Legend, and to anybody out there, like, as much as I want there to be different winners for each major, because that's, I love more competition in the space. Like, yeah, if Optic do, as expected, like, win every event, again, history would be made. Like, more history would be made. And I love when history is made in this league. I do. So, well, I just want there to be, I want every series to be competitive. I want every match to be competitive. I want every team to be competitive. And I know that can't be the case. Typically what happens every year is that you have one, maybe two teams that really surprise people. But then, like, the top is what it is. You know, it's kind of what you expect it to be. So, Jay Niner says Sparty is MVP. There's a hot take right there. Jay Niners coming in with the hot take. Love it. Love it. All right. Broken Hawk. Will, I want your thought on this one. Broken Hawk asks or states, hot take, Woodham becomes the first mouse and keyboard player to make top 4.
Ooh. There would have to be some stuff that goes really right for that team. But I would love to see it personally. I do think it's a hot take. I think it's hot.
I think it's hot as well. But again, that'd be more history being made, which I'm all for.
Exactly.
Any opportunity for more history to be made, I'm all fucking for it. Mob Demon, thank you for the follow. Welcome to the live show. MNK players on top. Fuck yeah, dude.
Yeah, let's go.
I think it's amazing that we have this opportunity, that a Woodham, that a Scoob, that a Rice. Like, I know that we can name them off one hand, but just the fact that there is that opportunity out there and the game is in a state that it can not only be a viable method of play, but you can actually show that, like, on a LAN environment that, hey, like, this actually fucking works and I can be a dominant player with it.
Yeah.
So, yes, I agree with you, Will. That take is hot. But, man, how fucking cool would that be?
It would be pretty awesome.
Oh, shit. Oh, man. Now I just want it to happen. Now I want them just to fucking make a splash at a LAN, maybe the first one even, and just, oh, it'd be so cool to kick the season off right. Love it. Because then what's going to happen is the team that didn't get top 4, that arguably, quote unquote, should have gotten top 4, oh, man, internet's going to be ablaze with that shit.
It would be.
Yep.
Very true.
All right. Well, besides the MCC EAC bullshit, that was it for the regular news as we went back to tournament league recaps. Which means it's time for... Oh, wait. That was it for the regular news. Which means it's time for Color Games to Watch. Call of Duty League Minor number 2 results. We don't need to talk about the Rocker getting first rounded. We don't need to talk about Optic getting second rounded. We don't need to talk about any of that shit. In third and fourth place, we had Toronto Ultra and the Carolina Royal Ravens. And this was fucking cool. Tilson's Health Club. No. Halo is not in the Esports World Cup. If that's what you're asking. I think that's what you're asking. I think that's what EWC means. And no, they're not. But second place at that Call of Duty League Minor number 2. Will the Seattle Surge with Neptune making his return.
Yeah.
Wow.
Pretty cool to see.
Was not, I won't lie to you, I was not expecting that at all. So I know, like, a lot of the stuff that had happened when he came back to Halo, but the fact that he was able to go back to Call of Duty, he gets picked back up here on a pro team and make a splash in the way that he did. Now, again, this is a minor, right? This is not a major. So very curious how that's going to take place. If he's able to maintain that consistency going into the major. But hey, what a hell of a fucking statement right off the bat from coming back into the league.
Yeah.
But would be remiss to not give a congratulations here to the first place team, the LA Thieves, as a matter of fact, remaining their dominance there. So good on them for doing so. Yeah, Halo guy, I kind of think we all thought that, to be honest. Like, thought he'd kind of fade into obscurity, to be frank. Like, as much as it kind of sucks to say something like that, but yeah.
Yeah, that's where my head was at with it.
Mm-hmm. But good for him, man. That's awesome. Hopefully he's able to put everything else behind him and just focus on the future, and we'll see what happens at this major. But that's it for Cotton of the Games Watch, which means it's time for Will's Adventures with the Failovers of the Games 2. Will, what'd you play last week?
As always, still playing Infinite. Been going through the ranked playlists, arena, doubles. playing some Firefight 2 and some big team, just kind of everywhere. We just did the show on Wednesday. I can't remember if I jumped into 8s on any of the other days. I don't know if I did. I can't remember.
It all blends together.
It's all blended together. Was around for a couple games of the community playdate, and then played some Jackbox Party Pack again.
Hell yeah.
It's a good time. I'm horrible at trivia.
Now we all are.
Yeah. The murder mystery one.
Yeah. Yep.
I think I came in last place like every time.
Oh no.
I felt so bad. It was not a good night for me.
Oh no. I'm so sorry.
Yeah, it is what it is.
That sucks, man.
It is what it is. But yeah, that's all I've been playing. My brother's been bugging me to play Fortnite again, so I'm probably gonna have to hop on that at some point.
Oh fuck yeah.
Yeah.
Love that Fortnite.
But that's it for me. What have you been playing, Josh?
Real quick, Dad comes in here and says, finally joined Pro Talk 8s this weekend. Most welcoming community ever. Fucking shout out to you guys.
Awesome to hear. Yeah. Shout out to all you all been in 8s.
Seriously. Shout out to all of you. Because you like, we can't make it to every one, right, Will?
Yeah.
So yeah, just the fact that you guys are able to hold the fort down and like live by the rules that we like put in there and try to abide by, and holding people accountable, because it's all we ever asked for. So fuck yeah, man. And then Boba asks, will ban lumber channel point reward when?
Maybe we do a command. Like you know how PD has the ban Piffin command, and it counts up.
Yeah.
We might have to do that.
I love it. Love that idea. All right. Yeah, I played some Infinite as well. Did the community playdate. We had one of the largest playdates we had in a while. It was really cool to see all the people come out. Had a couple new folks as well. Shot came back after what felt like forever. So shout out to you, Andrew. And just, yeah, really cool to see people back. Really cool to see the lobby popping. Played some of the Battle Royale stuff. Played a lot of mini game stuff. It was a good time. It was a really good time. So thank you all for that, especially after the rough week prior. So thank you all very much. Seriously appreciate it. And then played one series of 8s and got dog walked in that. But I hope my teammates had fun. It's always a fun time regardless, because just playing Halo with friends, but you know, always trying to win. Yeah. And then I finished Avowed. I rolled credits after 41 hours, nearly 100%ing it. And yeah, like I said, I couldn't put it down. Anytime I was doing something, it's all I wanted to play. It is, and frankly, I still think about it literally like when I'm not doing something else. So that game is fantastic. If you have not played it and you're interested in something that's going to scratch that like open world-ish RPG itch, again, it's not Skyrim, but if you're looking for something like it in the same kind of realm, give it a shot. It's on Game Pass. I adore it. Oh my God. Whew. That's all I played. So let's get into some shout outs. Speaking of complexity, happy belated birthday to Huss. And then, not speaking of complexity, happy belated birthday to my wife, Natana. Happy belated birthday to you. Happy birthday today to Miss Smiles, as a matter of fact. Hope you had a fucking great day. Shout out to everyone who joined in the 8s and the community playdate. Hope you all had some fun. I saw we had fucking like near 2 full lobbies of 8s taking place just the other night. So shit's popping. It's popping?
Yeah.
It's popping. And then shout out to everyone who followed and subbed during the live show. That includes Damage Titan, Jay Frerix. Again, I'm so sorry if I mispronounced that. And Mavericks, thank you guys for the follows. Fluffy with the 2-month resub. Beth with the 58-month resub. Frag Out with the brand new sub. Halt with the 16-month resub. Maysky, Sly Fox, Meg Muffin, Pseudo, Gerb City, Schmatty, Middleton, and Buddha. Thank you all for the follows. Sin, thank you so much for the raid earlier. Danny with the 17-month resub, and then Positive Affirmation Gaming and Mob Demon. Jesus Christ. Thank you guys for the follows. You all get a woo! Greatly appreciated. Thank you so very much. Then, shout out to everyone who's a patron at the semi-pro and higher tiers. That includes Unbroken Soul, Hardy Class, Blackout, Diode, Pancakes, Ashley, Voodoo Man, Roxy Monkey Jr., Snaggle, Raider, Hater, Peanut, Mud, One Swallow, Dead Phantom, Rizard, High-Tech, Redneck, Goalie, Summer, Heavy Rainfall, and Lane our board. Thank you so much for the extra support over on the Patreon. Community creations, Halo memes every day, reddit.com/r/Halo memes. Go check it out. Something I am very, 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 very happy and excited for. David Sandman is officially back.
Yes.
This is by David Sandman. He posts on Twitter and states, now that I'm officially back, I'll be looking for work for the rest of the year. Esports, concerts, band promos, portraits, merch, and more. I'm Oklahoma City based and have no problem driving to Dallas. I'm looking to drive down for all Dallas-based events already. Excited to be back, grateful to be here, and more motivated to do my part more than ever. All retweets are much appreciated, as I know it's been a little over a year. Said it before, said it a million times. I'll say it till the fucking cows come home, and I'll say it till the cows pass away. I'll say it forever. David Sandman is a remarkable human being and is one of the sweetest individuals ever. And the photos that he takes are fucking phenomenal. So if you need a photographer for any event and you're in that Oklahoma City area, in that Dallas area, reach out to him. Please. I know that we don't have the biggest reach in the world, but please, if you do listen and you need a photographer, an event in that area, reach out to him. He's amazing. And he gives great hugs. I referenced this video earlier in the show, and I'm going to say it right now as well. Why Optic Gaming needed Renegade. This is by LVT Halo. It is a Scrim gameplay breakdown where Tools and Callus literally break down Scrim gameplay. And it is, with the production that's included and the graphics that are included and the commentary and everything, I can easily say that it is one of the greatest HCS videos I've ever seen. And I stand by that. It is genuinely that fucking good. So if you have not taken the opportunity to watch it, please do so, because it's that type of shit that I've been craving in this scene for the longest time. And I hope, frankly, to Tools, to you guys, I really hope we see more of it, because it genuinely is that fucking good. And it provides a lot of context that a lot of folks don't see, right? That may not understand. One of the things I say to folks every year, right? And Will is right here with the sentiment as well, is that you don't, try not to just focus on the stats. Like when you're watching scrims, when you're watching tournament play, online LAN, whatever, try to not just stare at the scoreboard the whole game, right? Actually watch what the players are doing. And what Tools and Callus were able to do in that video, you really do get to take a step back and see what these players are doing at any given time on the map. And it just provides so much more context as to what is going through these players' heads and what they're doing on a play-by-play basis. And it's just, again, it's what I wish we had more of, and I hope we get to see more of in the future. So, good job, guys. Next up, Passion Pit 2 ideas. This is by Shostin and King J. Shostin asks, if there was a Passion Pit 2, who would you want featured? And King J replied, Passion Pit Halo Edition. Shostin says, I want to do something for Kayson's tournament. He said he's down. King J said, that'd be dope, but the true passion is in the open pits. Shostin said, if you have any good player or team stories, bang my line. King J says, I'll text DM. I got you if you really want to put something together. So fuck yeah.
Awesome.
Because that is exactly something else that is desperately needed in this scene. And Tools, and that's not a knock on you guys, because you said Passion Pit could just follow us at LVT covering the opens. I agree. And I just wanting more of that documentary style content as well around these teams is just, it's only going to help, So hopefully something like that can happen. And yes, please follow the LVT stuff for the open bracket at these majors. And I would assume at the Dallas Open. But there you go. Last few for you here. Q&A on team drama, SSG teammates, and vetoes while destroying kids on ranked. This is by Snakebite. Little commentary over some gameplay. Talks about some things that have happened during the offseason, the new team, everything there. So go ahead and check that out. And I believe in one of his streams, somebody had asked in his chat, when are you going to do, like, when's the podcast coming back, right? 2 times the grind. When's 2 times the grind coming back? And he said that they were recording, I think he said that they were going to record something that week. I don't know if that actually took place, but looking forward to the episode regardless, because he said that they'll be talking all about everything that happened during the offseason in that episode. So make sure you stay tuned for that. Black History Month Creator Spotlight by Native Gaming. The last post that they had was for APG himself. So go ahead and check that out. Shout out to Brad. Just fucking legend throughout the scene. And then finally, we have Skyline Exodus, a Halo Reach launching montage. This is by Termatius Trickosity. I got to give a shout out to Bart here because I forgot to include it in a previous week. He reached out again. He's like, hey, don't know if you saw this. And I'm like, I'm a fucking idiot. I missed it. Don't worry. I'm including it now. It's right fucking here. There you go. That's for Bart. That is for the trick jumping community. Go check that video out if you haven't already as well. Will?
Yeah.
That is all that I have. Which means we'll get a raid started here soon. B-Ducks, thank you for the follow. Welcome to the live show. Mr. Chief asks, how do I give you guys my Prime sub? Favorite show of the week. Mr. Chief, 2 things. 1, you're far too fucking kind. We would love your Prime. You don't have to give it to us, but we'd love it. All you got to do is there's a little sub button at the bottom right. If you're on desktop, you click on that, and then you'll have a little checkbox to use your Prime sub. You just do that, hit subscribe, bada bing, bada boom, you're subscribed. Using Prime. So yeah, Will, I'm going to find somebody to raid. So in the meantime, if you would do us a fucking favor and plug the show.
You got it. As Josh mentioned, we do have a Patreon. Patreon.com/HCS Pro Talk, where we do a little extra content, audio show, video show, Q&As, other things going on there. Go check it out if you're interested.
Do it.
You always can find us on your favorite podcast services. Just search for HCS Pro Talk. We're on iTunes, Podbean, Spotify, and others like Josh's favorite.
Pocket Cast. Still not an ad.
If you do ! Linktree in chat, it'll get you to our Discord, our Twitter, Blue Sky, Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, Twitch. I mean, you're already here, but TikTok and merch. It's all available for you there on our Linktree. Go check it out. And then if you go to hcsprotalk.com, it'll actually send you somewhere else, haloevolve.co.
Your home for Halo.
We're hosted over on the Podcast Evolve site. We have our own little section. And while you're there, check out the Podcast Evolve crew and their shows such as Podcast Evolve, Mission Debrief, Book Club, Build Blocks, Halo Headlines, and Halo Gear Guide. Go check it all out.
Do it.
And that's all I got, Josh.
All right. Ladies and gentlemen, he was in here a little bit earlier. We're going to go send the love over to Mickwin. For those who don't know, he used to actually work at Halo Studios, formerly 343 Industries, in preparation for Infinite's release. So if you want some insight as to the actual game as how it was made, he has some of that insight as well. And he's just very knowledgeable about the game as a whole. And he has a lot of insight there. So go show him some love. And maybe you can learn a thing or two about the game as well. Ladies and gentlemen, that's going to do it for episode 380 of HCS Pro Talk. We love you. We'll see you next week to talk about some more outlandish fucking takes that happened from online results of a fucking tournament. That'll do it for us. We'll see you next week. But until then, bye-bye!